And we're back here at Boom and Bust with Tom Caldwell. He is the chair of Caldwell Securities. Tom, I sort of was talking a little bit about the energy sector there right before the break. Let's delve a little bit more deeply in that. You're saying that that's sort of driving the Canadian economy forward. Give us your analysis of the energy sector, both nationally and globally.
Well, energy and resources in Canada, metals are doing quite well, thank you very much. Energy, we still have bottlenecks getting our products to world markets. You have a lot of political movement going on in that area. And indeed government area. The world does need liquefied natural gas. It replaces coal. It's energy favorable to the economy. Yeah, it burns stuff, but if it doesn't, we're flaring it off. You fly over Alberta, you see these flares out. We're just burning it off anyway. My point here is that we should be in the LNG business. We haven't really done it. We've been talking about it for years and years and years. We have delays in bringing projects online. I see that we've just done a deal with some Indigenous groups vis-a-vis the road leading to the Ring of Fire mining prospect area in Ontario. That's been going on between 10 and 15 years. I mean, this is insanity. If we want to get into play the big game, energy, minerals, anything, we have to shorten approvals. And we have to be more industry friendly on a reasonable basis. I understand that. We don't want to pollute the environment or, that's the current mantra these days. It was interesting, though. I was at the Prospectors and Developers Association conference.
I was going to ask you about that because that's been going on in Toronto. So give us your observations on that.
It's a massive conference. It's the biggest conference in the world like that. I always find it quite interesting that there's so many, entrepreneurs, particularly mining guys. These are enthusiasts. They're dreamers. And some will succeed and some will fail. But it's such a vibrant area of enthusiasm, enterprise, entrepreneurship, and you never see governments involved in that. It's like they don't even speak the same language or even in the same world. And you can understand why promoters and prospectors can't relate to lawyers, accountants, and regulators and government people who are nothing but stumbling blocks in their minds type of thing. But what was interesting about it, a lot of the companies, we have an investment, both a mineral investment, so we do pay attention to that area. We also invest, we're also significant owner of the Canadian Securities Exchange, which is probably one of the more vibrant resource exchanges in Canada. Well, it is in Canada. And so a lot of the presenters there, they're all now in the lithium business, the cobalt or graphite business, anything to do with electric storage, which, by the way, will be the name of the game for the next few years. Very few gold companies talking, very few base metal companies, but everybody is in the lithium business. And lithium, is quite common. In fact, I believe it can also be developed from seawater. So I don't know why the Saudis or the Iranians don't get involved in using their energy to create lithium.
Right.
Anyway, we're trying to move away from the Chinese. So all the mining companies there this year are in the lithium business or related to metals related to energy storage. So it really is a very good example to people, to see the dreamers, the enthusiasts, these guys that are staking claims and doing stuff. And the real world where you're trying to shift our dependence from China back to North America. And that's our strong suit. But we do have to shorten approval times for big projects in this country. Otherwise, we're not seen as a friendly investment environment. So that's something we have to work on.
Yeah, I last prospectors and developers meeting I went to was in 2020, right before the COVID lockdowns. It was literally 2 weeks before, something like that. And at the time, the mining industry was still kind of shaking off the doldrums. But what you're saying is the mood is a lot more positive now, right?
Well, absolutely. Very positive, very well attended. I mean, it was just a jam of people there. And I always find it encouraging because these are builders. I work downtown Toronto, and what we do is we just shuffle papers for a living and take side bets. But to see people that really building or trying to build Canada, it's an encouragement for a paper shuffler like me.
Well, I'm sure hopefully there'll be some deals announced as a result of that, because anything other than the lithium, we've got about 30 seconds before the break. Anything else catch your eye at that meeting?
Basically, graphite, cobalt, anything to do with electric storage, anything related to that. The gold companies are still there. We have an interest in the gold property, but the gold companies, but they are the minority, it seems, right now, just looking at.
Interesting. Well, that I tell you, I know it's an old phrase, "canary in the coal mine," but I always find that meeting to be really giving you a sense of what's going on in the economy in the very near future because they definitely feel it first. We're going to take another brief break. We'll be back with our guest Tom Caldwell. Please stay with us. We'll be after these messages.